Wanted to talk about this guy. Mentioned him at the top of the podcast, and that's Monte Morris. So recently, playoff teams like the Phoenix Suns and the Minnesota Timberwolves have trade interest in Monte Morris. So my question to you would be, do you think it would be a mistake to trade off Monte Morris to a playoff team right now, because the Pistons really don't have that veteran backup point guard?
Yes, I do. I would prefer they keep him. And I know you're at a point now where you think, well, you have to sell for assets. I think you keep him. I think his value, number one, he's a good backup point guard. He's a good backup point guard. He barely, guess what? When I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show, how this team turns the ball over at one of the worst rates in the NBA, guess who's one of the best at taking care of the basketball? Monte Morris. So he provides that as well to this team. And you have so many young guards. Like, I think his value is important. So yes, and he's from Flint, which is a little bonus point on there. So I like Monte. I think you have to keep him. I've been a big fan of him. The vets, I love him and Alec Burks. Those are my two. I love Alec Burks too, man. I don't want to see him go at all. Just what those two guys provide. I know they have value, and there's going to be playoff teams that would love a Monte Morris, but I just think what he brings to this squad, I know you have to figure it out. But even if you trade him next season, or you trade him in the future when Marcus Sasser's ready, or you figure out an opportunity, I just think his value is, he does provide so much just being out there on the court with these guys. Like we mentioned it, how they need a veteran guard. That's Monte Morris. Like he fits that perfectly. So just let the contract expire. If you want to bring him back, cool. But let the contract expire, let him play out, and then just start Marcus Sasser next season, or have him as a backup point guard.
Yeah, like for him, he's a UFA. That's why the Pistons traded for him. Obviously, they love those expiring contracts. But I was really excited when they did trade for him, because I looked at his assist to turnover ratio, and they're like, you look like across the NBA in history, like the guy doesn't turn the ball over much. He can hit an outside shot. He makes, sound basketball decisions. It never seems like he's in a rush. But I understand veteran teams that have playoff aspirations, like the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix does not have a point guard at all. It's Bradley Beal and Devin Booker playing point guard. Not to say that they're not capable of playing it, but they used all of their assets basically to assemble the team that they have. So I understand it from that standpoint. I don't really think Phoenix has too much they could possibly offer Detroit. I just don't. Minnesota to me is interesting because they do have some players that I do like. But at the end of the day, I'm with you. I would rather keep him and re-sign him because he's only 28 years old. He's a player that, to be out of all the veterans, he's the only vet I see hyping up. He doesn't sit down when he's on the bench. Like, he's clapping. He's, his energy is infectious. And I think he's one of those vets. It's just a good locker room guy at the end of the day. And I think he likes playing for his hometown team, which, I think a lot of guys, when you talk to them, like you look at Aiden Hutchinson for the Detroit Lions, like I'm sure he's really thankful that he's playing in Detroit and not Jacksonville. Like,
absolutely,
100%. Like, I think guys like that, I'd like to bring back, and then you have a backup point guard that Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey can learn from in practice. Mm-hmm. So for me, I would probably not trade him. I know some people in the comments section are probably like, yo, you should just offload him. He's a free agent. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I don't think he would command, like, I mean, what money you extending Monte Morris for? Like, that's fine. I'm cool with keeping him around. And just because of the player he is on the court, but like you said, off the court, what he provides, the leadership, the relationship he has with the players, like he's a competitor. He wants to get out there. He's been working his ass off to get back. So I just don't think the return on Monte Morris is worth trading him from what he brings. That's just my opinion. Even if you do have a Marcus Sasser, I think there's a way you can play those guys, especially if they do end up trading an Alec Burks. We'll see. But I don't mind a Monte Morris coming off your bench, extending him. I think that'd be a fair. That's a vet you'd like to keep around. Like, he's went for winning basketball teams, and he doesn't turn the ball over, and he can shoot threes. Like, welcome to the Pistons. You can stay around.
Yeah. Like I said, I was excited when we traded for him. I was like, wow,
me too.
We got Monte for nothing because the Wizards just wanted the salary dump. I was like, okay, like I kind of see it. And people made the joke that the reason why Detroit traded for him is because he looks just like him, which I kind of laughed at that. But I was like, man, you guys are wild. I know someone had asked, like, what would a trade for Monte even be? Comes from Ryan Boseman. I don't or what could a new deal look for? Oh, I completely read that question wrong. My bad, Ryan. What could a new deal for him look like? I would probably say like he's on a $10 million contract. He probably wants a little bit of a raise. So maybe you do like
What,
I don't
three
know,
for
3 36, 38, like something like that. I think that could probably be a number that you look at in terms of re-signing him. And I think the organization would probably want to bring him back.
Yeah, because what were you were paying Bagley? What was that, 3 for 33?
33 or 36. I don't remember the number.
Yeah, I'll take Monte Morris for that money, 100%. So if it's 3 for 36, yeah, I'm cool with it. Like, especially for a backup point guard giving you 10, 5 and 5, shooting well from 3, barely turning the ball over. Like, yeah, I think that's worth it.
100%.